Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. I come across some more information on TSNP, Tesora Enterprises, or Humble. As you follow my channel, I've covered this one a couple different times and just made a video about it about 2 days ago and come across some more information. And here's kind of what it looks like over the last month. Kind of had a nice run-up. And then it's just kind of came down since then, but it looks like it's starting to go back up. So kind of created a buying opportunity for me. I think I bought some right about in here somewhere on the 18th. So if you still have this one, it would be interesting to know your cost basis and how many shares you have. And also if you've bought the dip and if you have any further information in regards to this company. I found a couple tweets here. This latest one, in the process of merging with Global Payments Network, Humble, the merged entity name Humble. And this one is dated the 19th, welcoming our new Humble Studio artisans. And there's the link. Humble and the future of digital technologies in the coming decade, link below. So there's quite a few different interesting articles here on Twitter. Found some interesting information on there. This is the article that I wanted to go over. This is found on Yahoo News, Humble and the future of digital technologies in the coming decade. This is actually dated on the 17th. But there's still a lot of good information in here. The growth of financial technology never slows down, so companies in the space must adapt or die. And that's why I've been following this particular company. As it says right there, adapt or die. And that's the motto that Humble has been living by as they work around the clock to help build a platform for Web3 technologies. Humble was named in the Forbes as one of the rising startups to watch in 2020, as well as one of the Southern California's cool companies, and is rapidly becoming a brand known for doing things differently than the status quo in Silicon Valley. Here's what Brian Foote, CEO of Humble, had to say about his company, his team, and the technologies they are building to compete with the big tech and big finance in the blockchain era. And as you follow my channel, I've covered blockchain a couple times. If you follow Bitcoin and blockchain at all of the stocks in blockchain and some of them even in the other crypto has also went up since Bitcoin has been going up. So I've even covered Doge on my channel before, so Dogecoin. What technologies won 2020 and what are expecting will be a big splash in 2021. The year 2020 was about a distributed development in a CV, or we'll just say Rhinoceros Rex 19 environment, soon Zoom for meetings, Slack for messaging, Upwork for freelancers, and so on. We build our business on some of these platforms. I do not have Zoom. I have a couple shares of Slack. If you have any of those, let me know in the comments. That would be interesting to see what everybody out there has. And we think 2020 will be about financial technology services and the personalized use of blockchain. And I'm going to be coming out with some other blockchain videos here as I'm starting to study all those as well. If you look at what technologies like web, mobile, and cloud first came out, these technologies started with tons of trial and error and proliferated edge cases in their first few years. Then all of a sudden you have companies like Fangman Group and Big Tech that came along and started packaging these vast global web technologies into really manageable clicks for the customer. Posting a picture on Facebook, selling an item on Amazon, or playing a song on Apple iTunes, and that's when you start to see these decade-long super cycles of mid-market adoption. That's the threshold moment. We believe we are at the next cycle of blockchain and fintech, and we hope to be one of the multi-decade brands to help package those technologies at Humble. What are some easy-to-understand examples of this? The migration of personal and physical assets onto blockchain. We think stocks, bonds, credit markets, art, collectibles, land, and real estate will all get tokenized on the blockchain. There are only so many times you can commoditize a barrel of oil until the market starts seeking other detriments of value to trade on top of, particularly young millennial and Gen Z audiences that are bored by traditional financial instruments of previous decades. When that happens, you will not only get the new digital trading, futures, secondary, and derivatives market, but improve global capital flows into areas that need it. The implications for peer-based commerce and investment constructs on blockchain are pretty cool. What implications will that have for society and financial markets? The average consumer has 60 to 90 apps on their smartphone, and that does not chart well in market research in the era of mass customization. We think a consolidated ability to discover, list, trade, track, invest, pay, review, and book tickets within super apps will be table stakes over the next several years in developed markets. It's already happening in China with Alipay and WeChat Pay, so this is nothing particularly novel in terms of the marketing construct for consumers. We are trying to architect Humble in a way that it is customizable and modular as a plugin, very similar to plug adapters when you travel by region. We are also a matching engine to referral partners in the areas of service where it makes sense for the customer, so you don't have to exit the digital realm no matter where you are in the network. What are the limitations on your business moving faster to this Web3 reality? Compliance and regulatory are a major focus for us and will dictate how fast we can move with our platform. Humble is an extremely compliance-focused organization, and we hope to be best-in-class example for regulators of doing innovative new things with technology at their direction here in the United States and abroad. What are the key things to consider during this transaction? Equal access to technology as well as financial inclusion for everyone across the global income pyramid. The GDP of an UN 2030 agenda countries, particularly in the emerging markets, will depend on this. We think what comes through both smartphones and local pickup hubs. For example, the Tonga royal family hosted us in Oceania region for a few weeks, and we learned so much from seeing how real and amplification effects are for reducing the cost to send money, borrow money, and become a digital merchant, even in the lower connectivity zones. However, I think it's also important to note that some of the happiest and most innovative cultures in the world are in low connectivity zones. So I also think that we need to be mindful that this big tech can be just as harmful as it can be helpful if it's not consolidated in wrong hands regarding censorship, citizen controls, and personal data protection. What did you notice about global markets you traveled to when researching Humble? The growth over the next decade is likely going to come from the innovations of emerging markets. The governments in the markets are supportive of entrepreneurs working rapidly to deliver improved customer access, savings, lending, and capital formation through the technology because they know it can get their countries in the game of cross-border commerce and inbound investment into their regions. What are some trends you are seeing in the market overseas? Government migrations to the digital economy and digital forms of their national money. We recently responded to a public sector RVP in Asia to develop a super app that would process millions of synchronized transactions per day across peer payments, travel bookings, ticketing, and merchants in their country in one mobile application. Absolutely no idea if Humble will win or if the project will go through, but this kind of visionary stuff is coming down the pipeline. Your vision for Web3 seems to be resonating with global audiences. What is so captivating about the next era of technology? When you have a proven Wall Street guy like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, saying that Wall Street should be scared shitless of the coming fintech proliferation and blockchain innovations, it tells me that we're on the right track with the positioning of our consumer payments and financial services products. I think people dig that it's happening with teams of men and women like Humble, spread out around Zoom calls and labs and co-working spaces around the world, like the early days of the World Wide Web when it was more decentralized and cooperative. We feel a tremendous sense of pressure to build and deliver, but we're also trying to remember that we're helping build the future for a more broader vision or mission. A final word from the author. Humble is on the cutting edge of working to pair consumers, merchants, institutions, and governments together in the digital economy. There's going to be a lot of movement in the decade ahead, both in the United States and the emerging markets. It's sure to be an exciting ride with Humble, playing a major role in the next wave of web technologies on the global stage. So a very interesting article, and maybe that it will help everybody understand a little bit more about Humble. And this is back to Reddit. There's quite a few people talking about it, usually in the last couple days, last 2 weeks. And I thought this was an interesting one. A week from hell with TSNP and INND. Well, it created a buying opportunity, so that's what it provided for me. So I don't like to see it go down, but always provides a buying opportunity. I didn't have quite enough shares that I wanted of this one, but I'm getting closer to that goal, so we'll see how this week goes. This is back to StockTwits. Let's have a great week. So everybody that I can see that pretty much talks about this is bullish on it. Imagine if we got in 4 months ago. Unfortunately, I didn't get into this one 4 months ago either, so I got into it about a month or so ago. But that's fine. I have this is a long term for me. Like I said, if you have any shares of this one, put it in the comments as well as your cost basis. That would be interesting, and how long you're planning to hold this one. And there's not much here on tip ranks, probably because it's still a penny stock and over the counter. So. But that's it for Tesoro Enterprise Humble for now until I come across some more information. Just wanted to do an update and go over that article and make sure everybody saw that article. So if you haven't hit that like button yet, that would really help me out tremendously to hit that, as well as subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 500 subscribers here by the end of the month. I think we can actually do it tonight. I've had a lot of good growth here again over the weekend. So that is it for Humble for tonight. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.